Hey, welcome back to the Fun Astrology Podcast. It's Friday, April 26th. And you know, do you ever have like a really great day and then you think, why can I not put at least two of these together in the same week? Well, that's what we're doing here, is explaining these rotations of energy and the carrier or the wave frequency that is responsible for that. Ironically, can you guess which of the 10 planets or luminaries is responsible for those daily swings? Yeah, it's the moon. And the moon, all of a sudden today, for Friday, has moved back into some tense aspects that we should take note of. Because today could be a little bit challenging. Back on Monday, we had some similar challenging aspects with the moon, and boy, I mean, I felt it all day long. Couldn't focus, couldn't get going on anything sustainable all day, and was just fidgety. Majana was off of school that day, and she just was like, dude, what is up with you? I could not sit still. And we're going to have another day like that today, I think. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge. So let me just rattle these off so you can kind of be aware of at least the areas where they might show up. So the moon is in challenging aspects with the following. Uranus. Watch out for something crazy just jumping out of the blue. And this is one of those areas that, you know, it's like if something is potentially out there, maybe you could safeguard against it for today. Or maybe you could just get a little bit smaller today if that's within your control. Maybe you put off that email that you know might be a little bit upsetting. Just kick it to Monday if you can. Put it on your to-do list and roll it up to the next week. It also, the moon is in a little bit of a challenging relationship with the sun. So that could affect the who you are out there. Your shining light might have a little shadow cast over it today. All right? Also, it's in just a little bit of a challenging aspect with Neptune, so that bright, brilliant support that we were talking about yesterday, if you listened to the podcast yesterday, could be a little bit, just a little challenged today. That's the way these things rotate. And that same challenging aspect between Neptune and Uranus also exists. So just some intuitive, like you might just be, like your intuitive dial might be a little awkward today. That energy is there. Whether you tune into it or not, doesn't matter. I mean, it's there. You may or may not. And you can intend not to just as easily. Neptune and Mars, we've talked about that last week. Haven't mentioned it again this week, but they are in a square, and that continues until about mid next week. That is definitely adding to some of this offness. If you're just feeling a little off, well, that's kind of where it's showing up. So those are the more challenged aspects. A lot more red in the chart today, so I would just say this is one of those days to be careful, keep your head down, defer things if you can, do a little more self-introspection today. Be a great time to kind of do like what you do on a void of course day of the moon, if you follow that, where you just kind of go inside and focus here first and let outside come back around next week. Be a better way to look at it. Have a great Friday. We'll see you tomorrow for the weekend version of the Fun Astrology Podcast.